2 Sundays ago, someone texted in this question: is it true, once saved, always saved? Well, throughout history of the church, this has been answered in a couple different ways. Calvinist churches, those following John Calvin and his Reformation, such as the Church of Christ, have said that once one becomes saved, they are always saved. There's no way to ever lose it. And the predominant reason for this is throughout Scripture it talks about predestination and God's power to choose those who will be saved. And they say if God has chosen you to be saved, nothing you do, no external force could ever separate you from that salvation. Now you get another group of people like the Free Will Baptists or Independent Baptists. They say that once you're saved, you're always saved, as long as you choose to be saved. So they say you could later become unsaved if you choose to walk away and choose to reject it. Now both of these pose a potential problem, and the problem is this: who is saved? If your life doesn't look good enough, if your life is still kind of messy, if you have questions and doubt, are you saved? Well, with this idea of once saved, always saved, there's not a whole lot of confidence to say I definitely am. And the other problem that sometimes comes from this is, well, because I'm saved, it doesn't matter what I do. I can go and intentionally choose to sin however I want, have as much fun as I want, and God has to forgive me because He said He would. Neither of those two things are good or true. So for us as Lutherans, what we believe, we look at Scripture and see that God has saved all of us. We can be totally confident in Jesus. By His death and His resurrection, we have salvation. And now we live in such a way that reflects that salvation. And I can't ever tell you you've lost it. I'm not going to question your faith, but I will ask you, today, are you trusting in the work that He did back then on the cross? Are you believing in His promise, or are you believing in anything else? If there's even the slightest bit of belief in the promise and the things He did, you have salvation. You can say with confidence, He has forgiven you. And if you can't say with confidence, if you don't believe that even in the slightest bit, well then, let's talk more about what He's done for you. So I've got one quick analogy, and it's like this: once saved, always saved. We are all drowning in an ocean of sin, and we're drowning, treading water, doing our best, trying to stay afloat, but we can't. And God comes along. For those who believe once saved, always saved, it's like God throws a life preserver and it lands exactly on you. For the Calvinists or the Church of Christ, people in the Reformed tradition, they say it lands on you so snugly you're stuck, that even if you tip over and your head is just swallowing all this sin as you're getting dragged back to the boat, you're still fine. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. The Baptist perspective, they'll say, well, God throws this at you, it lands on you, and then you can be like, no, I think I'll do this on my own, and you can just reject it. Well, as Lutherans, we say it's like this: you don't have to do anything to take hold of that life preserver. You don't have to do anything to keep hold of it. God is going to throw it on you and continue to pull you in with salvation. And the only thing that you can do to lose salvation is to fight against God. To say, no, God, I don't want you to save me. No, God, I don't want you to do this work. No, I want to try it on my own. If you do that, you run the danger of losing salvation. So is it true, once saved, always saved? I don't believe so. I think in Scripture we can see that there's a lot of people who walk away from faith. But how do you know you have enough faith? If you have any faith at all, Jesus says, that's enough.